Hi, good day. So I'm going to go through the answers to the homework that we have to do, where um, we have question 2 to 5, and here we go. Question 2. Our homework was to find the principal. Find the principal given given that you want to get $432 in simple interest in 6 years, and at 12% per annum, which is the rate. Okay, so you underline your numbers that you've gotten, underline these numbers, and you have a formula. Principal interest is equal to principal by rate by time over 100. And you try and figure out, you want P, so that means we don't know what P is, but do we know what I is? Yeah, this is I. So yeah, we know I. This is years. This must be time. Percent is rate. So we take off what we know. We tag our titles. I, yes, we know it. R, yes, we know it. T, yeah, we know it. As long as you have only one question mark, you can figure out the question mark. So the next step we do is we can replace those ticked letters with the numbers given. So we're going ahead. Therefore, I would be 432, that's the I, is equal to the principal. We don't know it, so we keep it as the letter. Multiply to the rate, and the rate is 12. Multiply to time, and time is 6. All of this over 100. Our next step, we rearrange our equation to make P the subject, to make P alone on one side. That means the 100 goes up here, the 12 goes diagonally down here, and the 6 also goes diagonally down here. Let's rewrite this now. We start with the equal sign first. That 100 come up here, so it's 432 times 100. 432 times 100, and that is upstairs. Downstairs we have 12 times 6. 12 times 6. And we have alone on this side, P upstairs. So now time to use the calculator and work that out. Well, we could work out already here. It will be 43200 all over 12 times 6. 6 12s are 72. Okay. Okay. 43200 divided by 72. 600. So we get $600 is equal to the principal. Are you done? We could just turn it around now. Therefore, the principal is 600. If I was to ask you, what's the total amount accrued after 6 years? The amount if this was another part of the question, the amount accrued would be the principal plus interest. And now that we know the principal is 600, we could continue here with 600 plus the interest of 432. And what we will get is $1,032. So you have two answers here. I didn't tell you before to find out the amount accrued, but I'm showing you how, as long as you know the principal, then you can continue and find out that if the question had asked you for that. That's your question 2. Question 3. You have to find P given that the simple interest is 196. The time is 8 years and the rate is 7%. Okay, so I read the question just like you have the question, and this is how I'm writing down the information one time as I read it. So you could do that. Then you write your formula. I is equal to PRT over 100. And we see if this formula could help us find principal by tagging the turtles. We know I, we don't know P, we know R, we know T. So once you have the question mark at P alone and the S is known, you know that you could figure out what P is. So now we continue with substituting. I is equal to 196 and P remains as the letter P times R is 7, time is 8, all over 100. Next step, you cross multiply. Now, having done the last one with all those arrows, I'm going to do it without the arrows now. 100 goes on top, so it becomes 196 times 100 on top. 7 times 8 goes below. So you know that 7 times 8 is below. And your principal is here. Okay. I've probably placed that equal sign a little bit clumsy for you. So let me just fix that. Alright, better. So now we continue to our sum. 19600 over 7 times 8 is 56. Use your calculator if you're not sure. Then that. 19600 divided by 56. You get 350. 350 is equal to P. So you could say, therefore, principal is equal to 350. By the way, after you do that, you could make a part B. The amount accrued is the principal plus interest, and the principal is 350 and the interest is 196. If you add it up, 350 plus 196, you get 546. Two answers there. Principal and your total amount in the bank after 8 years. That was question 3. Question 4. I jump in right into it. Principal, interest is equal to principal by rate by time over 100. Okay, we from the question we know the simple interest, we know the rate, we know the time, we don't know principal. We have to find out that. I'll go in one time with substituting from the information given. The interest was $80.85. $80.85. That's the interest. The principal we don't know. The rate was 5.5. You could write it as 5.5, or you could write it as 5.5. The time is 3.5 years. You could write that time as 3.5, or you can write it as 3.5 over 100. Again, we rearrange. That 100 goes up here. So we end up with 80.85 times 100 above. And we end up with the 5.5 times 3.5 below, which is 5.5 times 3.5. That is equal to P. Okay, 80.85 times 100 will give you 8085 on top. Use your calculator, you'll see it. Next, we could work out the underneath. 5 fraction button 1 fraction button 2. That's 5.5 times 3 fraction button 1 fraction button 2. That's 3.5. I get 19.25. That's one way you can work it out using your fraction button, which I encourage you to do. If you didn't have a fraction button, you could still say 5.5 is 5.5 and 3.5 is 3.5. So you could go 5.5 times 3.5 equals, and you'll get the answer 19.25, and that is 19.25. 19.25. Okay, now that we've reached this line, you're gonna say 8085 divided by 19.25. 8085 divided by 19.25, and you get answer 420. $420. Therefore, principal is equal to 420. Now, if that was a part A, part B, the total amount is equal to the principal plus the interest. The principal is 420 and the interest happens to be $80.85. 420 plus 80.85 equals 500.85. That's your two answers. Last one, question 5. Simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. We know the simple interest, we don't know principal, but we know rate and we know time. So we go ahead and we substitute. Simple interest was 396.90. 396.90 according to what we given here. And P, the rate was 10.5, 10.5, and the time was 4.5. All of that over 100. Okay, time to rearrange. That 100 comes up here, so we end up with 396.90 times 100 all over 10.5 comes down here, multiplied to 4.5. As I say, you could use 10.5 and 4.5 if you want. Let's use it to give you to get you acquainted with your decimals. 396.90 times 100. When you times it by 100, you'll get that number on top. And underneath you could have 10.5 multiplied to 4.5 is equal to P if you want to use the decimals. So what is 10.5 times 4.5? 47.25. So you end up with 39690 on top. And you have 47.25 underneath, or also known as 47.25. You realize, everyone, that I am taking my time working out the top, working out the underneath first, and then I divide it. Don't rush to get the answer. Take your time. If you have to build a statue by chiseling away some stone to form some statue, you can't just give it one knock and expect the whole statue to form. You have to take your time and chisel away at it bit by bit until you could form that nice, precious statue. And you're going to do it like that with the maths. Do a little bit at a time, working out piece carefully, and then you'll get your answer. So now we clear our calculator. Now 39690. 39690 divided by 47.25. We end up with 840. So I was just showing you that you could use decimals or fractions. You'll still get out the right answer. Either one will work. That's the purpose of me showing you decimals, just to show you that it could work this way too. Let's go ahead with part B. The amount accrued is principal plus interest, and the principal was 840 that we just worked out, and the interest was 396.90. 396.90. Add it up. 840. We already have it from previously. It's in the equal place. So we just have to say add 396.9. Answer 1236.9. Since it's cents, that 0.9 will be written as 0.90 for 90 cents. And that's it for today, right? Look forward to having you all write out all of this if you didn't do it, and try and learn it so we can move on the next day. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.